I was just watching the King's Speech, and there's that part where they're like, and it's just good shit.
Hey, Casey Mobley here,
Jose Palomares.
and we're going to give you a review of Logan. We got a chance to see it last night, and here to give you our thoughts. Spoilers, they're in.
Definitely gonna have some.
Definitely going to have
in this
spoilers.
thing. Yeah.
We hotly debated that, but you know what? We feel like you should know. Plus, a lot of you have already seen it anyways, so that'll be cool.
Yeah, we're just giving you our little rundown of what we thought and what it's all about.
Yeah.
So basically, I think this was like the best closure for the series.
It was very satisfying. It was very satisfying how it ended. This is a very dark X-Men movie. Especially compared to the other ones. I think you can get away with it with a character like Wolverine. It's because it's R-rated. It's pretty bloody. It's not as bloody as I thought it was going to be.
Pretty gory,
but it's
though.
Pretty gory. There's some decapitations and fun stuff in it.
Yeah.
But beyond all that. Beyond all the superficial R-rated stuff,
there's just a lot of signs of the aging. You can totally tell that all his combat has just taken a lot of toll on him.
It's taken a huge toll on him. The movie takes place in 2029, so all the X-Men have died off. He's one of the last surviving ones. He thinks
allegedly mutants are all gone.
Allegedly, so there's him.
They've gotten rid of all of them. It was the company. I forgot what it was called.
I forgot what the company was called.
I think it was like At Risk or something like that.
Trans
yes.
something.
Transit.
Transamerica. No. But yeah, so they think that they are the only mutants left. There's obviously Wolverine or Logan, who goes by an alias because he doesn't want to be associated with being the Wolverine. It's like
going by James Howlett.
James Howlett, yeah, and he's a limo driver actually. He's
right.
Just to kind of just stay very low key.
Give you a little bit of a different idea of what he's been up to, and there's just the whole beginning scene where he's taking a nap in his limo, and he wakes up a little bit to the sound of a bunch of people trying to jack his rims because he's in Mexico, and he sees a bunch of thugs just hanging out, gangsters or cholos or whatever.
Yeah,
and you see him just the same old Logan, just all pissed off and
you get to actually see his. You get to actually see his berserker attack actually, which is a lot of people wanted to see on screen, and now you get to see it in full force and all the blood. I think my theory is, and this could be true, but I think Fox finally saw that you could make a mature comic book movie and you can have it be R-rated because Deadpool did so well, so they're kind of let's try to repeat the success of that.
And that just reminds me that if you go and watch it, there is a little teaser about Deadpool coming soon. It doesn't specifically say when, but it tells you that it's coming soon, and it's amazing.
I wasn't expecting it. I almost thought that it was part of Logan. I was like, wait, are they in the same well, they are in the same universe technically, right. But Logan takes place way afterwards. But I was like, wait, is Deadpool in this movie? Holy shit!
Because the way that it started, it's pretty much it starts with just the whole the whole scene's all dark, and you're expecting to see something dark.
Yeah,
but
I was this is gonna be good.
You don't expect it to be Deadpool.
It was great. It's just really, it's just a really funny little teaser where you guys can probably find it online. It's actually, I think it's been leaked already.
Most likely, yeah.
I think it has. Anyways, back to Logan.
Right.
So essentially what the plot of the movie is Logan is trying to stay off the grid. He has Professor Charles Xavier, and Charles Xavier is aging, and also he's taking medication because his powers are they're way more intense. There's something that happens where he can actually put people in a paralysis, right?
Pretty much when he has a seizure. Every time that he has a seizure, it goes just beyond control.
It's crazy. It affects everybody around him. Mm-hmm. There's also the character Caliban, who is an albino character who actually you learn is a mutant. Actually, he can actually track other mutants. And actually, I liked his performance. It's Stephen Merchant. I was so surprised because I love Stephen Merchant, and I had no idea that he was even in this movie. Right. And he plays this great dramatic role. I thought he was going to be. There's a little bit of comic relief, but for the most part, he's pretty serious, and he's really good. Actually, I was really surprised to see him.
And the thing about the whole plot, it's so weird because it doesn't you don't feel like you should feel good or bad for whoever. You can't really tell who's really the villain and who's the good guy.
You kind of have to make your own decision, like,
right.
as it goes through.
It's just the point where, like, since all mutants are supposedly all gone, you just have to figure out, like, where you're gonna place who is what. And at first you're like, oh, well, then maybe he's the bad guy because obviously he's hiding for something, or you know, it's just it was a really good concept that they went into, and there's just like the whole time where it's with Patrick Stewart just going through a lot of his phases and all that while Logan's, you know, collecting all the money that he can so he can get a boat. Yeah,
so they can basically escape together.
And just put everything together.
Yeah.
Just to pretty much to like ride off into the sunset.
Yeah,
you know, so
that's what I was thinking too.
Yeah,
like Thelma and Louise at the very end. You know,
right.
I think somebody compared it to that. But okay. So eventually, what happens is Logan gets mixed up with this former nurse who supposedly has a daughter, and Charles Xavier is getting these images, like he knows that there's something very special about this little girl, and eventually the mother dies, and he's sort of forced to take care of this little girl. And the nurse actually wants them to go to North Dakota so they can be with other supposed mutants, because there's this plot
there was a whole point where they were trying to seek Eden, which was based off of a comic book that the little girl was always carrying, and her name's Laurita, by the way.
Yeah.
And she's like I think you pretty much figured it out. She's like one of the most important characters in the whole movie.
She actually, her and Logan spend a lot of time together, and I mean the big reason for that, I guess we could say what the big reason is essentially she had the same procedure done to her that Logan had. She has, you know, her bones have adamantium over them, and then she has the healing ability. So
and then the biggest spoiler, and I'm just going to put it out there already. She ends up being his actual daughter.
Yeah,
because they took a lot of like samples off of him, and so she
was actually made from his DNA or whatever. Like they actually used that. I mean, and essentially the middle of the movie is sort of a road trip. It's Logan, the little girl Laura, or Laurita as you said, and Professor Xavier. They go on this like road trip, and you know a lot of different things happen.
There's just like a huge scene before they actually take off, and there was whole argument and all that of whether he should or shouldn't, you know, going back and forth with Patrick Stewart. Because Logan's thinking, oh no, he's off of his meds. He's not really making sense right now. But in reality, Patrick Stewart is making perfect sense.
Totally right. He knows that Laura. He knows exactly what Laura is and what power she has. And there's a great like one of the coolest scenes in the movie. Probably my second favorite scene, where you see her actually she demonstrates her powers, because one of the I don't know if they're like minions of like the big company, but they come in and they want to basically try to capture her, and
all military style,
all military guys and all that, and she essentially whips out the claws and full berserker mode. She goes crazy, and it's so like out of left field and out of nowhere, and it's so badass.
And this is before Logan finds out anything about the girl, about any connection whatsoever. So he sees it, and so he starts to feel, oh man, maybe I am connected to this girl in some sort of way.
He does become, like, in a lot of ways, a father figure to them. My second favorite scene in the movie is where they are able to go to. Do they actually go to Eden? Is that what that facility is? That they actually go and they meet up with other mutants who are children who were being tested on, and Logan finally is able to meet her there, and they kind of help nurse him back to health because he's getting older and a lot of things are going wrong. He's not healing as fast, so he could really. It's getting to a point where he could really be hurt.
Yeah, there's a whole part where, the main, head nurse style kid kind of gives him an idea of what, there's, this serum that, he injects, and it's, green, and they told him, just put the small doses and you should be good to go. It should heal you. It should help you, give you all the adrenaline you need and all that. Yeah. Well, Logan, being a badass, just decides to just
take the whole fucking thing
and just
straight up. No, he does it into his neck, right? Doesn't he? Like, yeah, he does it into his neck. It's so badass.
Yeah, he injects it and just he goes all out. But that actually got him like worn out much sooner.
Yeah, so. Actually, I mean, there's like a little burst of like, it's like caffeine or something,
right.
kind of for him. But but my favorite scene though is because this movie has a lot of like somber scenes. It's a very mature superhero movie.
It was pretty long, but you don't feel it. It's
very fast paced.
It's really fast paced, but. You don't realize that it's so long, but it's pretty long because I'm thinking right now we just skipped a shitload of a lot of the scenes.
We did. I mean, like, I don't know if we just want to tell you the whole movie, but like...
so the main thing that we want to tell you, though, I guess, is just go watch it yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I just want to say, what my favorite scene was, which like ties into a lot of themes in the movie, is... Logan wakes up from he's being nursed back to health from some wounds, and Laura's there, and they're talking about stuff, and she says
their recollections about what they've done with their lives, and how they were trained to do to survive, pretty much,
and how it sort of takes a toll on them mentally, and the way Logan is just saying like bad things happen to people around me, like it's just it's not something that's easy to take, and she does have these powers, but mentally she still is just a kid, so obviously this is going to take a toll on her, and it's a really great moment. I love that. I love it. There's a lot of just powerful themes going on through this movie that I mean the whole X-Men series has had those big powerful themes, but I mean this is so mature.
It's like like basically just passing on the torch.
Yeah, essentially.
This is exactly what I went through. This is probably what you're going to be going through the rest of your life.
Which I thought that was so great that he was sort of doing that to her, because it's just preparing her for like the long haul. I mean, like
they were basically her and the rest of the kids that were trying to get out. Which each kid had like amazing powers.
Yeah,
they were pretty much. Kind of like repetitions of what you've seen in X-Men, but like
there's like a couple times where I'm like, I wonder what that kid's power is. And then there's some scenes at the end where you do find what their powers are, and it's pretty satisfying actually. I'm like, that's awesome.
Good. It's amazing how they just use every single power. But the main thing that they wanted to do was cross the border past Canada.
From North Dakota into Canada.
Yeah, which I mean, it's actually a lot further than that. But they were trying
to
get right. So. They had set the whole plan and all that to get to safety from all the company that was trying to take them back for their research and to get rid of them, I guess. And essentially just make these like super soldiers. Mm-hmm. There's the subplot where they actually make another Wolverine. I forget what they call it. He's given like a name that's like some numbers or something like that. But essentially he's like, I think he's even more, something like that. X-24, because the little girl was X-23, I think.
Oh, okay. So, that would make
he was
sense.
Supposed to be like
the next
Supreme one right after. Yeah.
So, and there's some really cool fight sequences between them. Some really satisfying stuff.
Oh man.
One thing I really liked about this movie is obviously it's R-rated, so they can get away with a little more stuff.
Right.
Other than the violence, and like there is even a one shot of boobs. I was like, whoa, not. I was surprised by that.
Some nudity.
So didn't mind that at all. But actually, they curse a lot actually, which I mean, for a character like Logan, it's like you kind of expect it. But even Charles Xavier, like some of the funniest stuff is because you see Charles Xavier like saying, "Oh, this fucking so guy,"
he got so you got to love him for the proper, perfect guy that he was, the perfect gentleman that he was, and then all of a sudden,
when he's
just like fuck you.
Lowest point, he's like, that got a lot of laughs from the audience. So
it did, it was a great experience with the audience because everybody had like the same reaction in a sense through a lot of the scenes that were going on.
It's when you first see Laura use her powers, it's like everybody in that, it's like there was like a laugh, not because it was stupid, but because it's like, holy shit, like, not expecting that, like whoa, so.
And then there's a whole part where it builds up because throughout the whole movie she doesn't talk.
Yeah.
And then there's this scene where they finally get in the truck and they're leaving, and she finally says something, and then Logan's all like, holy shit, you can talk.
Yeah, she's speaking Spanish.
She's speaking Spanish, and everybody in the audience just like burst out laughing so hard.
That was really great.
It was classic.
That was and like he tells her to shut up, and like that's that whole
because he was getting kind of confused. He didn't know what she was saying.
Yeah, he was in Spanish. Yeah, he's like, I don't speak that, and
right.
One thing I told you, the girl who played Laura, I forget, it's Daphne or something. Daphne Keane is her name. Mm-hmm. She reminded me a lot of Eleven in Stranger Things, of Millie Bobby Brown, like sort of that character. She kind of looked like her a little bit.
She did.
So I kind of hope that she has a good career after this. She was really fucking good.
She was amazing. And throughout the whole movie, I was just thinking, as soon as I saw her, I saw such a huge resemblance between her and Jean Grey.
Jean Grey, which is like, fan theory. It's like, maybe. I mean, like it might
of both.
It might not make sense because of when it takes place. But it's still like, I was looking at her going like, she looks a lot like Famke Janssen. So, there could have been something there.
Some connection in there, yeah.
Because, I mean, Scott, fucking Cyclops died. So, I mean, like, of course he's going to.
But like I kind of but it reminded you.
But it reverses itself in Days of Future Past,
Days
right?
of Future Past.
So,
everybody's
okay,
back
never mind.
Together after, Wolverine went through that whole hell where he's like pretty much like under the river or whatever at the end of Days of Future Past. Yeah. Anyway, so back to the movie.
Yeah.
Go watch it.
Go watch it. It's really good. It's very mature. I really hope that we get to see more movies like this from Marvel.
The thing about it, though, is that this, like I said at the beginning of the video, just the perfect closure because there's no stupid,
teaser
at post credits or anything.
Is the end of the X-Men franchise. At least
Wolverine.
At least Wolverine. It is a very sad. It's a very emotional. Movie and a very satisfying, like you said, very satisfying closure. It's just like, okay, you know what, things are going to be okay. There was the very last thing, where she's over the grave and there's a cross on it and she actually fixes it and it's an X. So I was kind of like, wait, what? Oh, okay, I get it
what
now.
she's doing there.
I smell what you're stepping in. So I really like that. So yes, it was very satisfying. It was a great movie, great experience, very mature. Please go watch it. We both highly recommend it. One of the best comic book movies I think ever made.
Right.
I'd put it up there with like Dark Knight, Spider-Man 2, the first Iron Man. I would put it like up there. Even at X2,
For me, it made up for Apocalypse.
Yeah, I didn't see it because I keep hearing. Right. I didn't see that, and I didn't see Origins Wolverine because I heard how shitty they both were. So I mean, I still going to watch them because I like the characters, but. I avoided that because
everything all together, though. It's all gravy. It's all really, really good.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Definitely go watch it, and let us know what you think. Leave comments down below and
like and subscribe,
please.
Please do. All right, you guys take it easy.
Bye.